Alrighty then, what do you say we have a look at some G.I. Joes today? So I've been hitting some resale shops and some used toy stores and seeing what I can just find, And the weather's been cold, and if I'm going to wait for the weather to warm up for me to get out and do anything at all, I'm going to be waiting a long time. Because I think Sunday they said it's going to be 11 degrees. It's going to be March 3rd and 11 degrees. 11 degrees on Monday and cold as hell again on Tuesday. I don't really see it warming up anytime soon to be around 40 degrees, which is where we should be right now. But we're not. So, well, let's get out and hit these resale stores and everything like that in the cold. So I picked this up. This is an old one. Interesting enough, it says Kenner on it instead of Hasbro. I kid you not. I mean, I understand Hasbro bought Kenner, but Kenner never manufactured a G.I. Joe. Ever. Anyway, I got to see this. Kenner. See that? Funny as hell. Anyway, this is the G.I. Joe Hall of Fame. This is the martial arts expert. So this is one of those ones from 1995. And I've heard stories about how the quality wasn't there and the quality was there and the joints were different and whatever. But they were all over the place with their faces. The only common denominator that they had, it was a scar on the face. That's a G.I. Joe, literally a Hasbro patent. So anyway, we're going to get him out of the box. But I think we paid $10 for this. The box is ready. I'm not an in-the-box collector. So this would not be for one of those people like MIB Toy Museum. This would not fit in his collection. This box is ready. But price inside is good. Also picked up Cobra Commander, which is, I believe he is from 2002. And he's missing his shank that actually goes inside his boot. And I think something over here too. And pauldrons. And possibly a cape. I don't know. But I like the figure. I saw it. I paid $5 for it. And, so he's just an honorable mention in this review. Also, a flocked hair G.I. Joe. I think this is a flocked hair. Yeah, this is a flocked hair G.I. Joe that we picked up for $5 as well. We picked this up for $5 just like you see him. And, my son is really starting to get in. Cobra just fell over. I caught his gun. So anyway. Yeah, $5. And, he came packing with his gun, too. We ended up buying a whole bunch of accessories as well, but we're not going to cover those right now. Because we do have quite a few of these G.I. Joes, and all of them can use some armaments. So anyway, another honorable mention. So without further ado, I'm not going to bore you with cutting this out of the box, so we're just going to cut it out of the box. Alrighty then, the martial arts expert G.I. Joe Hall of Famer is out of his package. And came with a sword and a scabbard or a sheath. I believe you call that a scythe, I would imagine, or I would call it a dagger. And of course some nunchucks. Through the package I thought this was metal, but it's not. It's one of those, it's a braided twine with that chrome over it, So don't go pulling on that too much because I don't know how sturdy that is. Couple of grenades here. I don't know what a martial arts expert needs with grenades, but hey, G.I. Joe's probably got this mold around from 1964. And of course he has his black belt here. I'm sure you could tie it around. At first I thought, okay, well, this is just his black belt, or maybe it accommodates these guys, but I suppose you can make it happen kind of like this here and just kind of tie it in place, but that seems very awkward and cumbersome to me. I mean, if you tie it up, I guess you could probably get that going, but we'll try that before the review is over. And with this particular G.I. Joe, you don't get much movement across the body. So basically you can't get him in a patrol position and get this arm over on this rifle like that. I mean, unless you want to set the then he wants to let go from that end. So we've tried on this particular body style before. I mean, he's got a ratchet joint. And he's also got a bicep cut, as you can see there. And he's got a full rotation. And he goes out. I mean, the arms go out. But they will not go because he's so built and muscular. It will not come across to let you accommodate and get him in one of those typical action poses. Let me not say that yet. Now, it's just going to always look kind of awkward. And he's going to lose it like so. I mean, so he's relegated to basically holding his weapon like that. Like that, so, you know. So, yeah. I mean, this guy's ripped. He really is. I mean, look at those pecs on that guy. So that's part of the problem. And this was another design of a G.I. Joe that they were trying. And we're going to bring in one of the traditional G.I. Joes. What I mean by traditional, it's from 2002. This is older. But the Cobra Commander. All right, now you can see how this G.I. Joe is designed. He's got thinner arms. And he's got joints that actually really, really fold. This is a good idea to compare these two. And his hands. He's got G.I. Joe. Back in the day, they called this Kung Fu grip. You know, so he can make a fist. Also, he has an individual trigger finger. So that really allows a lot of versatility with this Joe to get him in some super action poses. As you can see, naturally, he can hold that gun just by posing it quickly like that. So just a different style body. And I think Hasbro was trying here with their Hall of Fame. And it's interesting that they call it the Hall of Fame. If you're going to call it the Hall of Fame, why wouldn't you use a traditional G.I. Joe body? I mean, that's what put them in the Toy Hall of Fame anyway. And then to come out and do the bait and switch on the body. But I digress. I mean, I think it's cool that they give you different faces. I think in the 90s they probably had 10 different faces they were using. But I'm not really sure about that. I know there were a lot. And I know they actually tried to create a lot of the characters in 12-inch that were very popular in the 3 3/4 inch. So anyway, I don't want to start rambling. The review is about this guy. The Hall of Fame G.I. Joe from 1995 marked Kidder on the box. Go figure that one. And so anyway, let's go through his articulation. He can do the standard G.I. Joe owl. He can do the Hitler goose step, back that much, out so much, and ratchet in the knee. And you get 4 clicks and you're done. That's it. You're only getting 4 clicks. So I think I'd rather have a double jointed knee, double ball joint. But he's got rotation in the foot, but the boot will actually snap it back into place. Nothing in the waist, and nothing in the torso. Again, the clothes don't disappoint. G.I. Joe clothes have always been fantastic. Here he's wearing a pair of cargo pants in black and an army shirt. So what we're going to try here real quick is we're going to try to get this tied around like so. So we can see if we can actually get that sword somehow to be useful on this figure. I mean, it's nice that they throw accessories in the box, but you actually got to figure it out yourself how you can get that to work. And I'm figuring it out right now, I think. I hope. I can't seem to... They just gave me just a little more black belt. That would have been fantastic. There we go. I got it. Okay, so I don't know how cool that looks. From the back, it looks pretty badass. From the front, it looks a little strange. But I think we can actually get this in here like so. Get in there. Maybe just like that. it's in there tight. It's not going anywhere. Wait a minute, that's Cobra Commanders. And this is martial art expert guy right here. And I think you can actually put this. Now that would cut him. So what do you say we get that in his hand? Well, he holds his weapon really well. That's in there, snug as a bug. Snug as a bug is hey. And now he can hold his nunchucks pretty damn good. I'm not going to complain about that. And I'm sure, let's see if we can actually get these guys. And yes, and he can actually hold his grenades very nice. Also, his grenades will probably look really nicely up here. And they'll probably stay fantastic if he's just on display like that. So yeah, I mean, he's not bad. He really isn't. And he does stand well. Again, put this back up here like so. You know what? Wait a minute. We have an available hand. So he will hold the gun like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And but he's not going to reach across his body to actually convince you he's on patrol. But overall, not a bad figure. He really isn't a bad figure. So if you're just looking to mix it up, and he looks pissed off, which is what you want in your soldier. So yeah. But yeah, the major differences in this Hall of Fame series and a regular 12-inch G.I. Joe of any series is the body. The body. And I think I would have to lean towards the traditional body where you really get some movement, you know? In fact, what G.I. Joe was based on was an action man that can move any way a human could move. And this one actually holds true to that, like the original G.I. Joes. But this guy here, he's got severe limitations. And great for display, but if you really want to get him into some convincing poses for some photos, yeah, this is not your G.I. Joe body for yourself. But he's really cool. Anyway, thought I would share that with you because the deals are still out there. There's nunchucks around here. So I'm showing you as I'm going, and he will hold every accessory that came in that box in some shape, form, or fashion. So yeah. That's been my look at the Kenner. See, where's that box at? Hold on. The Kenner G.I. Joe Hall of Fame martial art expert. That is so funny. Yeah, Holland Wolf out.